Make a Deal with Me. Written and narrated by Lady Spookaria. She sighed to herself as she gazed down into her drink. How long ago had her life been perfect? A good job, a loving fiancé, a beautiful home, and even better prospects. Her gaze lingered in her reflection, focused on her incredibly dull expression, and she could have sworn she had aged several decades in a matter of days. There was no pain anymore. She accepted her fate readily, and knew deep down this was all part of the bargain she had foolishly made. She wouldn't have ended up in this dive bar with questionable-looking people inside. She knew exactly where she went wrong. Her thoughts went back to that night. She had been furious with that bitch Nicole who had beaten her, again, for the promotion at work she had her eye on. That she had been grinding for months to achieve, and she just waltzes in, gets it. All her hard work had been for nothing. She had to endure the indignity of having to teach her new boss how to do her job. Everything was going wrong. Her boyfriend had left her the day before. It hadn't been the best relationship to begin with, and she wasn't sure she was supposed to be with him. Still, it didn't make it any easier. She found out that he had stolen from her on his way out and left a little present behind for her. Nothing was working anymore. She lifted a cigarette to her lips, the only pleasure she had left, and tried to get her lighter to light. It wouldn't work. "Fucking hell!" she groaned, and was about to spit out her only source of happiness when a lit lighter appeared from an elegant hand in front of her. Her gaze followed the arm up and saw an enchanting face. Feline-like eyes gazed down at her. Her red hair curled and framed her face. Whoever she was well dressed. It was difficult to tell how old she was. There was a timeless energy about her. The stranger held the lighter steady while she lit her cigarette. In a blur, the lighter disappeared with a click of the stranger's fingertips. She had to admit she was entranced, completely drawn in by her. The stranger was alluring, and she felt torn between wanting to be her and a desire to be with her. "It seems like you're in a bit of trouble, aren't you?" The stranger's voice was an intoxicating purr. The words took her completely by surprise, and she was rendered speechless. Without invitation, the alluring stranger took a seat beside her. She could not stop looking at those eyes. "I know you are. Or you wouldn't have called me," the stranger winked and continued. "Your life has not gone according to plan, has it? You were with a man when you prefer women. That job you fight for means nothing to you. The friends you call sisters mean nothing to you. And you know they have betrayed you over trivial things." "How did you know any of this?" The stranger lifted her elegant shoulders in a shrug, a devilish smirk on her lips, and evaded the question. "What if I could give you everything you truly desired? Money, power, the perfect job, a beautiful girlfriend to call your own, and revenge on those who ever wronged you." She thought about it. Everything she ever longed for was offered to her. Her imagination began to run wild to a point she didn't realize the stranger draped her arm around her. She was pulled close and felt the stranger's breath on the back of her neck. You could have it all, and more if you desired it. What was there to lose? She had nothing else going for her, and how could she resist the alluring stranger? She felt a hand under her chin and turned to see the stranger's red lips, before her gaze lifted to the stranger's eyes. Now she was closer. She could see that the eyes weren't quite feline, but still. Their faces were centimeters apart from each other. The stranger leaned in for a kiss. The caress was gentle. For a brief moment, reality hit her, and she saw the stranger for what she truly was, a beast in human form. The fangs were pointed, sharp, and ready. The stranger's smooth skin was coarse to the touch. She could have sworn she heard a rough, monstrous laugh at her realization. The alarm clock blared loudly. She awoke to a star inside a strange apartment. One far more expensive than hers had been. She felt by her side. She was alone, but knew the signs that someone else had been there. She wrapped the sheet around her nude body into a makeshift dress before walking into the expensive kitchen. It alone was bigger than her entire apartment. She blinked and maybe it all could have been a dream. Well, hello, sleepyhead. She turned to see the woman of her dreams. What she desired but never had the courage to go out and find. Wait, who are you? I could have sworn that... She was pulled into a passionate kiss, one that she absolutely did not fight. What's gotten into you? Bad dream? She asked, took her by the hand and led her towards the table while she poured a drink for her. Everything was perfect. There were no remnants of my former life. I was out of the closet and with the woman of my dreams. Perhaps my life before had been the nightmare and this was reality, she thought to herself. I'm sorry, I need to check something. I'll be back in a minute. She stuttered, stood and rushed to the room she had been sleeping. Like a caged beast, she paced around the foot of the bed and finally caught sight of a laptop, one in a far better condition than her old one had been. She opened it, took a guess, and used her typical password. Even in this fancy new world, she used the same damn password. She logged in to check her bank account, and, there was more money in there than her entire family possessed. She could afford to pay all her bills, travel, invest, and do anything she ever wanted to. She could live the life she always wanted. Next, she took the time to check out her social media. It turns out her girlfriend's name was Marie, and they looked happy together in all the pictures. But the memories... they didn't feel right, and they certainly didn't feel genuine. She still wanted them, though. She wanted them more than anything. There was always time to find a way out of the deal. There had to be, and she had time. Marie stood by the door watching for a moment, her hair loose around her shoulders, and her green eyes lingered on her. I was going to wait until we were on holiday. I couldn't resist, though, Marie said, opened up a drawer in the vanity and pulled out a small red velvet covered case. Her heart skipped a beat. Marie went down on one knee to propose to her. The ring slipped on her finger, and they kissed before intimately celebrating. After this, she forgot about the deal and got used to her new life. The stranger knew she would forget. They always did. When the stranger came to collect, the one she made a deal with hid inside a church while she waited outside. The stranger was surprisingly patient. It wasn't the first time one of her beloveds had decided not to fulfill their part of the bargain. Come now. I get what I want eventually, and it is foolish of you to refuse me, the stranger taunted. If you don't come out, I will slowly remove each thing you had, piece by piece, all until you beg me to claim you. The one she made a deal with did not answer. We will see how long you manage to hold out for, the stranger said, and then disappeared into a puff of smoke. Instantly the deal maker regretted her decision. Why didn't I take the steps I needed to take before making a deal with her? I had the time to do it. I was still young, and who knows? Perhaps I would have been happy out of the closet, she thought to herself. Things began to get worse. Somehow she ended up at the dive bar, pouring her secrets out to the bartender. First, I lost my ring, and naturally my girlfriend was angry with me. It didn't take long before I lost my job and she lost hers. We fought over everything. But there was one thing that finally broke us up, but I can't even remember what it was. I found out she was cheating on me, lying, and that she only wanted me for my money. We lost that beautiful apartment I'd been so proud of. I can't afford to visit the doctor, but I have strange lumps all over my body. I don't know what they are. I guess you could say that I'm sorry, you know? I'm sorry I didn't make it happen on my own. The bartender listened, glanced at his watch, and it wasn't the first time one of the unfortunates had come to visit him. He scrubbed a pitcher and turned to yell some colourful obscenity at two bikers who were randomly fighting in the background. "You gonna be alright? I can help you," he offered. No, I won't be. "I can't help you unless you agree to it. I know things look bad right now, but you're safe here. It's a bit rough, but it's a refuge," he continued, tirelessly cleaning, and watched her with kind eyes. "I don't think you can help me," she added sadly, but looked up at him with a grateful smile. "She can't get in." Wait, how did he know who her adversary was? "If you agree, I can protect you. Otherwise, it needs to run its course." "Help me," she whispered softly. He reached out his hand to touch her shoulder. Immediately she began to feel sleepy. She blinked twice before she fell into a dreamless sleep. And soon her heart came to a stop. And she was free. I would like to thank Muerto Animations for creating my amazing intro. He's taking commissions, so check him out in the description below. Don't forget to stab or caress the like button, comment, share this video, and subscribe if you haven't already. This video is made with the support of my Patreons. Stay safe, my little spooklings. And remember, I'll be watching you.